Hey, welcome back to my channel. It is Christian here, and thank you for tuning in for another one of my videos. Okay, you're here to get my 2 cents on all things spirituality, religion, church, family, love, parenting, and life in general. Okay, 3 points that I like to make before I get into any topic or discussion. Number 1, you're not alone. Number 2, you're not crazy. Number 3, God, your creator, still loves you. Now, I had someone, I ain't gonna say their name, but I had someone come at me a couple of days ago about, me saying something about not going to church, me quitting church or whatever. And it was just so funny to me because I'm like, you can't be watching the videos if you're not listening. I've told y'all several times to keep going. If y'all want to go to church, go. Honk for Jesus, save your soul. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Like, if you want to go and it's for you, keep doing it. There are people who really do want the fellowship and they want to be a part of an organization and they want to be in an environment where they can be around people who have the same belief system. Now, does it always mean they're going to be treated equally, fairly, nicely, kindly, or compassionately? No. But a lot of people tend to have a high tolerance for abuse, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And so they stick around. And this is what we get in documentary form or movie form. And hopefully, if you haven't had a chance to watch it, maybe you might want to check it out. It does feature Regina Hall, which I love Regina Hall. She's a great actress. She's so funny. Her greatest work was definitely Scary Movie 2. And anything after that, we just gonna add to the pot, okay? No, but I did get a chance to watch Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul, which is actually, I think it's available. Don't get me the line, honey. I don't know where I watched it at. To be honest, I don't know if it was on Paramount Plus or what it was on. Maybe it was on Amazon Prime. But look it up. You'll be able to find it. And I gotta tell you guys, it was literally just a mirror image of a lot of the churches today. It was like somebody just wrote a script based off of a real church story. And my mind just couldn't help but go back and forth with why people condemn those who decide to leave the church and say things like, yeah, you can get hurt anywhere. Church hurt happens every day. We've all gone through it. But does that make it right? Where's the accountability, though? In this movie, it was told from the perspective of the pastor who had clearly had a fall where he was being accused of inappropriate sexual actions towards some young men in the ministry, buying them cars, taking them on trips, and I don't think they were underage. I think they were like 18 to 21 or something like that. So he wasn't accused of having relationships with underage boys, but these were young men in the church that he was supposed to be mentoring or whatever, but he was sleeping with them and he actually paid them off. Now, in the movie, it shows that the church shut down due to these allegations because he was under investigation. And so he and his wife, which is Regina Hall, is it Sterling? What is the guy's name? Because I want to get his name right. I want to make sure I give him his respects because I love it. Sterling K. Brown. I knew it was Sterling. So Sterling K. Brown is the pastor and Regina Hall is the first lady. And I say that this movie, let me get back to my notes because I want to stay on point. I have to say that this movie is a mirror for the church, because a lot of points in this shows you how the world sees the church and why so many has left the church and has no intention of coming back. This is a hard truth that a lot of people need to accept and a lot of people need to use as some kind of measurement of what needs to be fixed before you can look to fix people on the outside who you want to come in. It's like, I'm not coming in there. I see what y'all doing. It's a 0 for me. It's giving 0 out of 10 stars. Seeing and hearing of the scandal, seeing and hearing of, the delusion that the pastor had, thinking that pretty much he was just going to rise back up to his popularity and his fame because thus saith the Lord, like God want me to have this. God want me to talk to the people. And it showed how there was a competitive church, right, with a younger pastor and wife who had been members of their church, had left, branched off, and had started their own ministry, and pretty much was looking to capitalize off of their failure and grow their ministry by getting the members from Sterling K. Brown and Regina Hall's church. Like, y'all closed, we gonna open and see our ministry flourish. This is really what happens in the church. When one pastor takes a loss and scandal breaks out, another pastor is waiting for your members to come on in the room. They waiting. Baby, okay? Another man's trash is going to be my pastor's treasure. And so it's disturbing, but it's a mirror. And it's funny how even the world knows that this is how y'all get down. Now, there's been speculation that this movie is either, loosely or heavily based off of the situation concerning Bishop Eddie Long, late Bishop Eddie Long, because the storyline is eerily close with him paying off some young men after he was accused of sleeping with them, buying them BMWs and taking them on lavish trips. When he went, they went. Okay. So yeah, it has a striking resemblance to that. So again, a mirror for the church. Are y'all looking, or are y'all out here trying to break these mirrors so y'all don't have to face the facts? Whatever y'all doing, let's move on. The next point that I got out of the movie was that pastors love trying to get away with stuff that they actually preach against. In the movie, it showed Sterling K. Brown, who was the pastor. It showed him preaching against homosexuality and saying some very vile and nasty things about homosexuals and where they're going and what's going on with them and how they're, desecrating the church and God's will. But then we're doing it too. What are we doing? Pot? Me kettle. No, meet the stove, okay? This is real narrative, right? This happens often. A lot of pastors preach and teach against things and then go home or don't even make it home. They end up doing it right there in church when they get off the stage. It's a stage, Christian. It's a stage. As soon as they get off the stage, they start doing the very things that they preached against. They're texting their boyfriend, right? They're texting their side piece. And I'm not talking about a biscuit or the mashed potatoes and gravy. I'm talking about a woman from the nurses board or their secretary or their receptionist or their assistant or their armor bearer, honey. Practice what you preach. And that's what a lot of y'all pastors don't do. So it showed that. It also showed really in focus, the biggest picture was the first lady's detriment in how she stuck beside him, but she also had to figure out how they were going to make it through this atrocity, how they were going to bounce back. And it showed from her side how she was willing to go through it and figure it out and still try to be a voice of reason with someone who was very delusional and unreasonable. He dragged that poor woman through the mud just so he could save face and keep his reputation. A lot of these pastors they demonstrate narcissistic characteristics. Now, I'm not going to call pastors narcissists. I don't have the licensing to be out here, diagnosing people. That's a real issue that really requires you to go through some kind of evaluation to be assessed and diagnosed. However, I will say that a lot of pastors demonstrate narcissistic characteristics and behavior, and his traits definitely portrayed and demonstrated some that didn't care. It ain't about you. This is about me and what I want. I'm going to be represented. Like, I got to still get up there. Like, help me practice my sermon, my comeback speech, right? Help me save face. Get out here with me and put up these signs. We got to come up with a plan and a strategy while she's broken and hurting. And instead of trying to go through counseling and revive and restore that connection and that trust, it was, let's go. Let's figure this out. We got to get back in here. We got a water system. We got a whole fountain back here. Baby, go plug up the fountain. Sis running through the church trying to figure out how to do all of the things that she was never doing before it all fell down. But now she's expected to hold it all up on her shoulders so that he can continue to be the man that he wants to be. Not the man of God that he's been called to be, but the man that he wants to be. He can't even look out for the woman that he took under the covenant of husband and wife. It was still Operation Save Me. Okay, so those are the pressures and the unrealistic status quo that a lot of first ladies have to keep up with in order to maintain appearances. Seen and not heard. Seen and not respected. Seen and not honored. You don't have a voice or a choice. We just need to see you, baby. Okay? All right. So that perspective, I didn't really like that. I don't like the term first lady anyway, because you're not the president or the first lady of the U.S. But I get it. We got to make up titles in order to give somebody power and position so they don't feel like they're nothing, right? Okay. And last but not least, the most important point is church is more about a show and not about souls. They were out there putting on a whole performance, and the most the catalyst to when she broke was when they were out there honking for Jesus. Well, having signs telling people to honk for Jesus, all this other stuff. And he came out there and asked her to do a mime dance, paint her face white and do a mime dance. And she did not want to do it. She pretty much was like, don't ask me to do this. Like, I'll do anything else. I'm already out here doing everything else. But it was almost like this is what I'm being degraded or I'm being reduced to save this for him. That he would have his own wife mime dance in the sun and the heat on the side of the street so that this sanctuary can be filled for him. She did it. But she also broke down. She also had a breakdown after, of course, he was approached by one of his accusers and one of the young guys that he paid off. And it just was a demonstration of many of these churches are for show, and it's not about souls. So when you want to come at me about leading people astray or being rebellious against scripture to not forsake thyself for the assembly of the brethren, listen, no. You need to close. I don't care about that scripture. I do not care. Do not quote it to me again. Okay. That would mean something if I cared about that scripture. I don't. I'm going to say this one last time for the people in the basement. Because clearly you're not sitting in the auditorium. Scripture, the Bible, your principles and your beliefs only mean something to you, not to those who do not practice or believe them or use them as a guide for their life. I do not. Please do not let my name fool you. I do not subscribe to biblical principles or beliefs. What I like to do is compare how hypocritical beliefs and scriptures are for those who claim they practice them. Okay, now that we're on the same page, stop trying to combat me with scripture when I do not subscribe to it. That is like me going to someone and trying to make them a vegan or tell them about vegan dinner, or I don't know. I don't even have an analogy at this point. I don't even care. Just stop. I don't even want to use my brain cells to try to come up with how else to explain this to you. Stop trying to make me use your beliefs to measure my thoughts. Doesn't work. That would only work for somebody who goes to church with you, reads the Bible daily. That's not me. I am not an atheist. I just do not practice organized religion. with the Bible at the pinnacle. I don't do that. That's not for me. Okay? You keep that. If you believe that you need to assemble yourselves with other humans who do that too, do that. Great for you, just not for me. Okay? All right. So Honk twice. Honk for Jesus. What is this movie called? Honk for Jesus. Shall I call it Honk twice, save your soul? Honk for Jesus, save your soul. That's my take on it. It was very sad, but I really do believe that it was a mirror for the church. And if you are still in church, active or, committed or whatever, watch it. And don't watch it from a standpoint of being offended and finding it blasphemous, but look at it from a standpoint of, is this how the world sees the hospital for the sick and the lost? Because that's what you say you are. The church is supposed to be for the sick and the lost, to come in and be recovered and to come in and be healed and delivered. Yet this is the portrayal that they get often when they sit in the midst of you. There's nothing that makes them feel separated or different from that which you present. Not saying you need to give a sign of perfection or a show of perfection, but you definitely need to be closer to your beliefs, your values, right? And your doctrine. But baby, it's really giving y'all live across town from the Bible. And y'all only drive over here on Sundays to see it. Sound like a museum to me. But y'all don't want to turn y'all church into a community center, so that ain't my business. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video and review. Let me know if you've watched the movie and what you thought about it. I would love to hear your take on it. And if you've enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We would love to add you to our 2 Cents crew. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.